Megan Parks with Exploring Parks here. Today I want to talk about how you can store your eggs while you're out camping. Eggs are a great source of protein and they make a great breakfast or snack, or you could even have a breakfasty dinner while you're at your campsite. So what are some of the ways that you can pack your eggs for camping? Eggs need to be kept at 40 degrees or below. You can have them at room temperature for no longer than 2 hours, but for the majority of your camping trip, you need to make sure that you are somehow keeping them at a 40-degree temperature. First off, you could always just bring your carton of eggs with you. One thing I want to mention is that if eggs soak in water for too long, then there's a chance for bacteria to start growing in them because the shell is porous, so there's little holes in it and the water can seep in, and that can cause some issues with bacteria. So you want to make sure if you're bringing a carton of eggs with you in your cooler that you don't let the carton sit down at the bottom where the ice is going to melt and soak those eggs. One way to avoid this is to put them in an insulated cooler bag and just use ice packs so that there's no melting going on. That way they'll stay cold and you won't have to risk any bacteria growing on them. Another way to store eggs while you're camping is to bring them in freezer bags. So you have two options. You could crack them directly into the bag so the yolk is still intact, or you can just mix them up, whisk them up and then pour them into a baggie. This is a nice option because you can split out your meals per bag. So maybe you need 2 eggs for breakfast and 1 egg for dinner. That way you have what you need just in each baggie. This is a little bit safer than doing the carton in the cooler, but you want to make sure your bags will not let water seep into them. Sometimes they can get punctured, or if they're not properly sealed, water might get into them and that might ruin your eggs. You also have the option to freeze your bags of eggs, and that way when you bring them camping, they'll stay fresh for longer. So I froze these eggs in the freezer and they've been in my fridge for about 2 days now, and they're finally at the point to where they can be cooked. So keep in mind, if you're going to freeze your eggs, they're going to take about 48 hours to fully thaw when they're in your cooler. Another option for storing your eggs while you're camping is in a bottle. So you could use a disposable water bottle, you could bring a blender bottle and just crack your eggs directly into here so that they can be poured into your pan and cooked however you like them. I love bringing the blender bottle with me because it is waterproof as long as it's closed up properly, and then I can have 6 to 8 eggs in here, maybe make 2 to 3 breakfasts with just 1 bottle of eggs. You could also bring your eggs in a Tupperware or in a mason jar as long as you're careful not to break it. You could bring them whole, just store them inside the Tupperware. You could pad it with some paper towels or little napkins or something so that the eggs don't crack while they're rocking around inside the Tupperware. This, as long as it's an airtight container, could be down at the bottom of your cooler with no issues, but you just want to make sure water's not able to get in there. Another option for you is to bring farm fresh eggs. So if you know somebody locally that has chickens and lay eggs regularly, you could buy from them because fresh eggs have a protective coating on them called a loom, and that keeps them safe at room temperature for weeks. So you could technically bring eggs with you and not have to worry about keeping them cool. When you buy store-bought eggs, they actually wash the loom off before they package them, and that's why they do not last at anything except under 40 degrees temperature. If you want to keep your eggs at room temperature but you do not have farm fresh eggs, one method people use is they buy store-bought eggs and they put oil on them to kind of create a fake loom which protects that egg. So the most common oil that's used is mineral oil, but you could use avocado oil or any other cooking oils that are thick enough to kind of fill in those pores. Make sure to do your own research to ensure that you are safely protecting your eggs so they can be at room temperature before you consume them. If you want to eat eggs at the campsite but you don't feel like figuring out how to pack them, dehydrated eggs is a great option. So this is a powdered egg that you can bring with you, and you just need some hot water and that will create a nice egg breakfast. Powdered eggs or freeze-dried eggs are typically what's used inside of camping breakfast meals in the bags. So they taste just like eggs. The texture might be a tad different, but at least you're getting your egg protein. The last option that you have for bringing eggs camping is to buy the liquid cartons of egg whites or even just liquid eggs at the grocery store, because this is already prepackaged for you and ready to throw into the cooler. Just make sure if it's a carton made out of cardboard or like a paper material that it's not soaking in water for too long, because eventually the water will seep into it. I hope this video encouraged you and showed you that there are many options when it comes to packing and storing eggs while camping. If you're looking for other tips, tricks, or reviews for camping, please check us out at exploringparks.com and subscribe to this channel. Thanks guys, keep exploring.